1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Hello. Hallo zusammen. All right, so let's talk a bit about okay, 1, 2, 3. Works. Alright. Just for myself, I just turn down the music a little bit. Alright. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Flutter Explained. Welcome to this live stream right before the Flutter Engage event today. It's getting excited and I am excited and I hope you are too. So first of all, let me open up the chat quickly and see if everyone is inside. So it's public viewable, that looks good. All of that is there and I will pop out quickly the live chat. Yep. The default chaos if I start a live stream, right? Remember that. Okay, so quickly check if everything sounds well. 1, 2, 3, hello. That's all right, I guess. think that's fine. All right, so let's just quickly wait a second before we start. In the meantime, I can set up everything. All right, so yeah, Flutter Engage. What will we see today? I heard a lot of fantastic feedback. We got already some fantastic informations, and I'm really curious what we will see tonight and what we will have also for viewers and the schedule and everything that has been released now. And as you can see, we have the keynotes today with Tim Sneef, our director for Flutter and Dart, who's talking about the topics. Then we will have a leadership roundtable where a lot of people are inside, like Eric Seidel, Ian Hickson. Ian Hickson is the guy that you find mostly in GitHub issues. he's there everywhere, I would say, called Hixie. Miriam Hasnani and Frank Puffelen. After that, we have the first session from mobile app to web app. I think we all are interested in something like that, and John Ryan is working on that, which is fantastic. Migrating a package to null safety. We have now over 1,000 packages in null safety, which is fantastic. And yeah, so session 3 will be the little things, so feel free to check inside. As you see, Zoe Fan, also one of the product managers of Flutter, will be there, and so on and so forth. And also a lot of community talks, so it's getting interesting now. And if you have checked out Twitter in the meantime today, so I will check if I find right away it. Yeah, I think I have it here. You can see that Ubuntu was posting today something. Flutter is the default choice for future Ubuntu apps. And this is gonna be very, very interesting, because with that, it could be that we will see more and more Flutter apps in Ubuntu. And this is a pretty huge announcement. If this is like the standard, Flutter will be the de facto standard for apps in Ubuntu, well, we would reach a lot of people, because I think the Linux distribution market share is pretty high, right? Let's have a look quickly, but I think from Ubuntu, it's like the highest amount of. So as we see here, yeah, 50% of all the Linux systems are Ubuntu's. I don't know which one, from which date this is, so it could be that this is a bit wrong. Let's have a quickly a look. No, this is something else. Maybe we find one with a bit more. Ubuntu server, of course, 2017, but I think that changed already. So yeah, but in general, it means that a lot of more people will receive the possibility to work with Flutter and also work with Flutter apps in the future. Yeah, so, but in order to get a bit warm today with Flutter and work a bit further in our application, you maybe remember still our problem from the last time. And I see right now that my face is again above my logo. So just have a quick a second where I move a little bit around. So where's my webcam? There, and push it up. So, and the chat box, push it up. And you maybe remember still this text here from the last time. So we still want to improve there the to-do behavior. So the idea is still that we can add here in the chat, like giving exclamation mark to do and enter some text like Max, you have forgotten something. And then I want to receive that right away in my Flutter application. And for that, the last time when we worked on that, we managed it to implement already the standard behavior where we can log in into our Flutter application. So, and we receive this message here, we can click on it, we get the possibility to log in, which I do now. And if I'm doing that, we can verify the YouTube account. And if we now press the button, and probably we got an error because I have again, yeah, OS operation is not permitted because I tried to access it via the macOS desktop and not the iOS one. Quickly change that. So, but what should be possible already is that we receive now the information from the chat. So if you write something in the chat, we will have the possibility to read it already. So the last time we stopped there with a very dirty approach where we just had a button where we clicked on it, checking the credentials, getting the access token, and after a while we had the possibility to receive the to-do commands. If you have to check my headphones. They make some very weird sounds. I hope this is not in the stream. So, and now let's have a second. Yep, so here we are. We have to verify again, I guess. Yep. Getting our token from our good old Google API. This guy. And now we have allowed all of that, and if we press the button, we should receive, aha, our to-do. Hey Minu, nice to see you, hope you are well. So we received our access token again, and as you can see, we have Max, you've forgotten something. So, and I forgot that I don't have to make columns behind. So if we make a to-do, and then so hello Minu, for example, then we will receive inside of our application already the new standard text, hello Minu. And now we have two tasks for today. Number one is to show it up there in the stream. That would be fantastic, that we have it already right away to see. And for that I would like to have a web app that has the possibility to do so, where we can access it from the OBS, because OBS has the possibility to read websites. So, and then we can just show a small Flutter application up there to have the to-do somewhere. All right, so how could we process that first? So let's start with the web app application, I guess. And Minu, have you heard already about the Ubuntu update, that the future applications of Ubuntu should be in Flutter? And did you make any progress with your problem regarding the QR code and login system? So in the meantime, I start up all that. Oh, get directly an error, that looks weird. Unsupported above server socket bind unsound null safety. Investigate OAuth flows. Ah, because the package that we are using is not made for web, I guess. It was very hard to find a sol. What is a sol? Okay, so it seems that our let's see where we are, and my keyboard is not working. Thank you, Favid. I hope you are well. So where is it in the pubspec.yaml? We have that Google APIs.auth. Oops. Yeah, I think it will be a difficult one just to solve right away. It's not that easy. You don't receive it so late. I think we started 10 minutes ago or so. So you are in perfect timing. Hey, Ricardo. Okay, so check out the package here. And I want to know if this package is able to do the web API. This is already in place. We have here an unidentified, which is not such a good solution. Native and JS, so I probably think that this is not yet possible for web, but let's see. Using this package, client-side web application. When creating a new client ID, we did that already the last time. Select the web application type, okay. Necessary to JavaScript origin setting. Okay, they have this browser flow probably. Okay, so what we would have to do is, instead of, I think we call somewhere this await browser flow, here this guy, and here we now have to say that this is for iOS and so on. So is web, I think we have that keyword somewhere. And if it is web, then we do, oops, the following, else we do that. So await. So, and we import that. Hey, Chahak. Okay, fantastic. So is web is not real, this is k web, or k is web, or something like that. Yep, k is web. So constant, yes indeed. The fact that JavaScript does, look at that. So, and inside of this implicit browser flow, we just have to give inside the ID and the flow, and then we get a browser OAuth flow. Obtain. So let's see. This works now a bit different. Maybe this will not work like I expected that. Okay. What we get here is an obtain access credentials via user consent. Okay, just let's see how it works. So ID and scopes, this should be the same, right? And we don't need that. And now we receive something back from here, and this is in credentials, which is not an access credential anymore. At least as far as I see here. So let's see, we receive a future of something. What is that? Browser OAuth flow. So this credential is not correct. Actually, this should throw an error, I guess. So how can we improve that? This is credentials in this case, but what we could do is creating this browser OAuth flow. Or what's also possible is we get these access credentials inside of it. Let's have a look quickly. Create state, access credentials. Yeah, they are identical. So the idea would be, rather than doing this, we take that away. We really have to make an k is web if case here. And first we check that. If it is web, then we do this. And what we receive here is this, what did I say? This browser OAuth flow. Thank you all around us. We give our best. So. And with that, we have this in case, and with that we can now access the credentials, I guess. Browser, client via user consent, obtain access credentials. I think that will be this one. And the credentials will be this one, awaited. Good. So I take that away on the left side. Give me the link to install Flutter SDK, please. I can't use Flutter, bro. Can you please give me a link to install Dart SDK? If you need Dart SDK, wait, you cannot install Flutter, but you need Dart, or what is the idea that you want to follow? Because the Dart SDK should be installed inside of Flutter, and if you cannot install the Dart SDK, that is a good question if you can install it separately. So install Dart, is it on Windows or in Mac? That would be interesting. For Android Studio. Hard to tell. But if you want to install it via Mac, I can send you this link here. And here you will find all the information about Dart SDK. So how to install it via Brew if you're on Mac, or with Chocolatey if you want to install it via Windows. There you just have to install this Chocolatey, and with that you have the possibility to download Mac Dart directly. I think if there is there somewhere? You can also download it as a zip down here. My voice volume is very low. That's not good. Let me turn it a little bit down. Just 1 second. I'll just check why it's. Interesting. So is it now better? Yeah, I think now it's better, right? So I can turn on the music a bit again. So yes, all right, fantastic. Yeah, I took a record today, so I had to change the settings a little bit. Thank you for letting me know that the voice was too low, because that's always annoying inside of live streams if you can't hear the people. Okay, it's getting warm. All right, yeah, that's about Dart. So if you want to install just Dart, that would be one option. But it will not help you to work with Flutter, I guess, if you just have that installed. At least I could get, or I could see that there will be some issues with that. Okay, back to IntelliJ. It tries to perform. You failed to download Choco. As I said, then check out down here the link to the SDK in a zip file. I think that should be then the easiest way. And once more. So, and good. So, but now we receive the credentials via the browser flow, and after that we receive them and push that into the credentials, and else we do this part here. Good. So let's see if this solved our web problem. Okay, yeah, you can try it with that. Hopefully it works. In the last instance, if you still get problems with Flutter, you could try to install FVM. It's also helpful. Hey, Listiano, nice to see you. So native desktop client type. Storage early. Okay. What's the issue? User consent initialization failed. So try to go inside of here, but then it crashed. Invalid request storage array is not allowed for native desktop type. Ooh. That could be that I try to come from localhost, that he don't like that. Client ID for web server. All right, so it's a Google Developer Console issue. Not this one. This one. Are you already excited for the Flutter Engage? I started with that, but maybe you have already some insights, and you are. How will you have your evening tonight with Flutter Engage? So let's create a new API key. Thank you. And this API key will be different. So it's the Flutter explain to do list. And application restriction, it will be from a website. But this cannot be the problem, I guess, because the other one is already address via IP address set. So maybe my IP address is not correct anymore. You won't attend. Oh my goodness, why that? For you it's in the middle of the night, or? Hey Nicole, nice to see you. So let's double check in the API if I have the right API restrictions, IPS restrictions. Okay, they changed. So my public IP changed since the last time. So in order to fix that, I could imagine, can I add a star that I can say something like this? Nope. Huh, that was already included. Huh. So, and save the whole thing. Good morning, Nicholas. Sure, will do. So we still try to access only this restricted thing. This works, and that should do the trick. Do I have to set somehow that this... Ah, is it because of the client OAuth? That could be. Let's check the client OAuth. Ah, here I have to set which type of application this is. So I have to say that this is a web client. For user request from a server, this would be just localhost or authorize restrict must not be empty. Yep, let's create that for now. So, and the thing is, now we have to use different client secrets, so this part will be different. So this is the ID, but only for, so that will be case web question mark. Then we will have to create a client ID with this part and with the secret. This guy. So oh wait, that was a mistake. Here we want to have that secret, and after that we say this or that. I am creating, or I can maybe show you quickly once more in the iOS emulator. I want to have on top, you see the open to-dos one program. And I want to have a Flutter application that I can embed there. And so I can show all the to-dos that we have. Did you delete stream when you are talking about widgets with some guys? I don't think that I have ever deleted a stream. I would be very afraid if I do that. Usually I keep them. Ah, wow, Minu, that's very gentle. Very nice to have you, actually, if this is really the restriction here. So if I open them up now, the iOS simulator once more, does it start? Ah, here it is. Or not. It's time for an M1, I guess. So, and the thing is, I would like to, or what happens at the moment is I'm reading the chat from YouTube, and you can, for example, enter something with a to-do. And whenever you have in front of it exclamation mark to do and enter then a to do for me, like do something useful. Let's create it like that. Now I have the possibility to get an error message. HTTP request, standards, some could not build the application for simulator. Okay. It gets really problems. Ah, I didn't know that. Huh. What is now the case? I want to import Dart HTML and I'm not allowed to. Okay, maybe not the best option to start with or to work on both sides. At least it looks like if I want to make the web running, then I get problems with the iPhone and vice versa. So let's first try to start the app, and maybe we will solve that in a second, and then you will see what we want to achieve today. Because the idea is in OBS, you have the possibility to embed websites, and with that you can, or I want to add down up there the idea to have the to-dos from a website. So mistake with the redirect URI issue. So we need this URI, and we need that inside of our web client here. So authorized, that should be doing the trick. So try it again. Still not, does not match the ones authorized for the OAuth. I forgot to save or. No, he got that. Does not have authorized OAuth clients. To update the JavaScript origins. Not there, but authorized JavaScript origins, right? Maybe I have to restart the app or something. Timati, today we got the information that all the future applications in Ubuntu should be written in Flutter from the Ubuntu team itself. So it's again a huge boost for the spreading of Flutter as a technology. And the indicators are really looking very good. I can just highly recommend you to stick with Flutter if you have the possibility. So why? To the redirect URL, I can do that. Do I HTTP? Does the port change maybe? Without I'm getting knowing it. Ah, look at that, the port is changing. Okay, so this is the problem. So whenever I hot restart or something, the port is changing, I guess. Cannot obtain white spaces. Okay. So now it's the question. Origin data. This value can't be wildcards. Can't campaign. If you use a port other than 8080, you must specify it. Okay, unfortunately. So what we will have to do, cannot, yep, that's this. Remove and save. I cannot remove the, you mean completely free? Maybe it works. So. Aha, here we go. Not too bad. Okay, the only downside is now that I have to register, and you know what this means? I have to take you away. Let's say this one. Just in as long as I authenticate quickly. Boom. So, let's see, Gmail. Up. Hopefully I can save that in between. Yep, fantastic. And I need to get my phone in the meantime. You brought some time, I hope. So, and go. Yeah. So, and continue. Allow. Good, and here we are. So if I press now this nice little button, we should fetch all the strings from the URL, and if not, we still have some issues. So let's see, we get the next issue. User consent, IDP initialization failed. So I'm pretty sure I got the consent. Now I'm quite confused. So why did it not get the consent? Permission. The JavaScript in the does not match the once authorized for the. Can I let run a Flutter web application under a specific port? Yes, so Flutter web port. Yeah, perfect. So what we can do is going here to the main, edit specific additional. Let's get the port, I don't know. Yeah, 1234. Perfect. So restart. And now we should be able to specify that inside of our credentials. And this is something else here. Oops. Get rid of that and changing this here. And also the redirect should be changed. Okay, so wait a second. Yep, so this port is correct now. We see we get directly converted to the right place. I quickly have to register again. Sorry for that. So. What do you mean with one without and one with? I think Google just said take both of them. So if one of them is set, then it's valid. So. So it's a bit tricky if I'm working here with credentials everywhere. So let's see how far we come this time. Ah, look at that. So we get our to-dos. So if you now chat with the exclamation mark to do in front, we get all the different to-dos at the moment. Actually, we should get all of them. So whenever you add something, we will have it. What did you say about Ubuntu? That all applications running on it will be built with Flutter? Yep, all future applications that will be built will be done mostly in Flutter, which is an amazing update, really. I think this is also the high news that we have for this evening in the Flutter Engage. Thank you, Minu. Perfect. Let's check that. And here we go. So just one click away. So we have the possibility to now access that. And because of the API localhost 1234, let me check something in the OBS. So I'll quickly go to that part. We have at the moment this here, but let's add a browser quickly. Let's get rid of this, sorry. Let's do it beautiful here inside. We create a browser. Up. So. And we change that quickly. And what do I need? This is localhost 1234. The question is now, can I make this publicly available? Or at least in my home local network. I think for that I would need the IP address of my local system. IP or... I'm not sure how to do that actually at the moment. What would be localhost for this? This is the IP. terminal. I think we can get that via ipconfig. No. Mac current IP in local network. Probably up here. So here we go. So what I can try is on this here. We have now the local IP address. 168.0.196 with 1234. Okay. Not as successful as I hoped. Do we get that? Nope. Okay, that's because it's not really a server. So what we will have to do probably is to add it directly on my Windows machine where currently I record everything. How could we do that in the quickest possible way? I would have to share this code and then we have to run it on Windows. So let's try that quickly. We have currently to keep it clicking because I don't have set up a polling system for it. That will come in the future. So I think somewhere around here, what we see here is currently all hard coded. But what we will need is something like, okay, after 30 seconds, it automatically takes the next poll from the information. And I think that is also possible via the call here inside. But I think there is no possibility to receive a stream of this information, unfortunately. So we always have to poll it ourselves. Actually, it would be just this part that we have to recall every 30 seconds. Do we have a possibility of an interval? It's a good question. Never done in Dart, to be honest. Okay, let's see if we find that quickly. Let's start with that. Dart. Timer, new timer, perfect. So, and after that, it runs fantastic. So timer equals new timer. We don't need a new. Duration of, let's say, I think 30 seconds is fine. Duration dot. Somehow it doesn't update anymore. Let's close that off quickly and let's see what our IDE does. It seems that it got a hiccup. A real developer, indeed. Fixing problems, love it. Timer equals. No suggestions. Okay, so there is something really fishy with the IntelliJ, so let's quickly restart it. Oh, I got 30 points in my Stack Overflow. That's fantastic. Nice. Take it. So whenever you have the possibility to answer some question on Stack Overflow, highly recommend that. It's always a nice thing to do. VS Code, I can also do that. Just have to find the project, I guess. Yeah. So that would be an idea, I guess. And here we have, well, I have too much stuff. Flutter Fire, Dart, Kotlin course, message sneak peek, Flutter Live to do, I guess this one. So now we are in VS Code. That should be a bit faster in general. And here we are in the response code 200. We get the live responses and here we ask for the messages. Timer equals a new timer. Duration. Nope, nope, nope. 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds we want to call. Wait. No, I did right now, so that's why it's red. So here's starts async import. So we did that. Get rid of that, have some space. Meh. Okay, I see why I didn't like VS Code so much, but yeah, so after the 30 seconds, and I see right now that I have too much space on the right. I completely forgot about that. So push it a bit more to the left, even more, even more, even more. So, okay, so in these 30 seconds, what we want to do is getting the response, updating this live check, making set state, and I think we don't even have to print anymore. So like that. Expected to find up. Okay. Somewhere we have a problem because we don't wait for it. Make it async. Good. And at the moment it will only stop calling this API when we are finished with it. So we don't use this timer now. One idea would be whenever we get for free that we at least say, can we not access the timer here? Ah, no, of course not. Yeah, so it's currently part of the state. We should do that probably. Yeah, so we bring that up, say timer equals, going up into the widget state and adding that timer. And whenever we throw a for free inside of this poll, like here, else we stop the timer. Tick, run, cancel. So that we don't run into runtime problems, I guess. You don't use autosave? I don't know. As I said, I'm not so much working with the VS Code library, so it could be that I do stupid stuff here. This is now trying on run macOS. This is wrong, of course. We want to use VS Code, so we have to get a terminal. Flutter run, I guess web, and then the port, no, right? So what was it? Port number something. That was that. Restart start analyzer. Thank you, M. Afslal. That was the point. I could do that via the IDE. Completely forgot about it. Good point. Will do. So, and in the meantime, I think I'm ready here. So hopefully, yep, that got everything. Fantastic. Okay, so we have that implemented, and we got here the main runner. Don't struggle with VS Code. I do. I don't like to work with VS Code. As I said, it's not my favorite IDE. I have already too much time invested in Android Studio or IntelliJ, I guess. All right, back here again. So just to test it polling, I will quickly move again. We have to up, quickly authenticate. So it somehow said that inside of this inside of this Flutter application, the password and username is not getting saved, which is a bit unlucky. So, Up. So next try getting the YouTube channel. So we click once and now every 30 seconds it should poll again if we don't crash, of course. And maybe 30 seconds was a bit too long because we have to wait that now for the initialized. So for the first time we have to wait now 30 seconds. I guess we have cache option for auth, check it once. So as you see, we got that. And now it should poll every 30 seconds. I think we have the credentials already saved. The problem is that whenever we restart the server, it doesn't recognize anymore my Chrome browser. It's just the going further. So we want to enhance the solution from Monday, some guy. Welcome back, by the way. So for example, we have now a polling system. So every 30 seconds, we should get now the newest to-dos here. So if we add a to-do, we should get that after 30 seconds inside of Flutter Web. So, and in the meantime, while we are waiting, and maybe I can keep that open, put that on the side. So it's maybe a bit invisible, but not completely. And in the meantime, I can here start to create a Flutter project for our a GitHub project, share project on GitHub. Did I try to use the scroll wheel? I did, I guess. So let's push that quickly. So this is our live to do. Yeah, YouTube to do helper. Don't know, something like that. So sharing. So getting all the files inside. We add them all, and we're pushing to master. And it was successful. Who guessed that? So here we are. So now you are also able to get all the source code. So I shared it already and put that later also in the YouTube video description. Okay, and what I want to do now. Oh, okay. That's sad to hear. I thought the scrolling should work out of the box actually. But if I test it right now here in Flutter Web, I see that it doesn't work. So you are right. Have you checked already for issues in GitHub? GitHub, Flutter Web, scroll wheel. So here's already a closed one. A fix should land shortly on the 20th of October last year, so I guess it's already inside. Rebind scroll wheel. Huh. It's closed. We'll fix in better or other branches too, of course. Change the blah blah blah. 125, yeah, so but if you are working on master, it should work. Interesting. That sounds ugly, to be honest, Aaron, but I can understand the problem there. It's interesting, I don't get the updates, right? Or are 30 seconds not over yet? I thought so. Do we get some errors? Nope. So let's kill that quickly and try 5 seconds. Who cares? I think we can call that as many times as we want. And maybe create some kind of iterator. Try this issue. Thank you, Minu. Let's check. 7902. Ah, perfect. Like a dupe. Okay. It's also closed, but broken 420. Can you please provide ITA? Why they are all closed? Interesting. Merged. Okay, I have no idea. Never use. Sorry. Let's see. So if we start up the Chrome now in 5 seconds, we should get at least some updates. We have to be, of course, a bit careful with our daily possibility, right, of 10,000 calls, but I think we will not exceed them too much today. At least not with a time of 5 seconds. Can we not just print here inside? I think. Really? Okay, just print the seconds. Absolutely. I think the Flutter team is also working on this issue, hopefully. So, make myself a little bit bigger. So, while we are waiting and I reapply the... It's good that I have such a long master password, so I have to really write something. So, getting two-factor authenticated. Yep. So, also the first time I have to click, of course. So 5 seconds, and then we hopefully see something. Here we go. So, and now so check one, let's see, Minu. You made an app idea. An app idea for the solution for the problem with the scrolling, or so we only get 5, and after that it doesn't work anymore. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, no. So the timer did not work. So do we run into that cancel event? Oh no. For the password manager. Yeah, I think that could solve the problem here. But why would it run into this else state? Sorry for that. No, it's not getting cancelled either. Huh. That's intriguing. Timer duration. I'm stupid. Yeah, so that helps. So the argument of future null can't be assigned to void function timer. So what is the goal here? So if I add this, then we want to have that and a callback with a timer inside. Ah, here I get the timer itself back. So we have the possibility to cancel it inside. Okay, let's try it. Log in. So this was the first 5 seconds. And this is the second 5 seconds. So perfect. Now we receive them all. It was quick. It was faster than I saw the message. So as soon as you entered the message, I could see it here inside, but I couldn't see it there. That's fancy. So that means whenever I add here a to-do, let's check. Then we will see it pretty fast down here. Perfect. Okay. So we have a periodic timer. We have the possibility to get them now, but was that what we wanted to try? No. I would like to change quickly over to my computer and download the application and start it up there just to see if we can add it to the stream. I hope this is fine for you. And this will be the first time that I work here, or one of the first times when we work here on the Windows machine. So now I have to see how I can add the chat on the other screen. So sorry if I don't watch now into the camera so much, but let's have a look. We need Android Studio quickly. I installed today purely and fresh the good old Flutter. So let's see if we can get the GitHub repo of mine. So what was it? The YouTube something, YouTube to do helper. Yep. Get the URL, going to Android Studio, get it from VS Code. Oh, there was a problem. Nope, don't want to. So let's go via HTTPS. Not yet, actually, but that is on my list of to-dos that I want to do. So maybe in the next stream we want to talk about the GitHub CLI. So, oh, I think I have not all the plugins installed yet. I'm always that good prepared for the live streams. But let's check out for the plugins and get Flutter and Dart. And yes, I needed to install everything new and fresh because my computer got a new SSD drive the last week. So, yep. Restart, go. What's that? We don't need that actually. Can we deactivate that? Yeah, continue. So, the font size should be up in a second, or large again in a second. So don't you worry. Up. I think it will synchronize hopefully in a sec, or I have to set that up quickly. So settings, getting everything large. I think 22 is pretty good. Here we go. And same for the editor. Font 22. And here we go. So now we have that running and we want to have that on Flutter Web. So let's check if I have that activated. No setting found. So we want to enable, oh, enable Fuchsia is there. Nice. Linux Web. So here we go. Flutter and -- enable web. Flutter config and then enable web. Flutter run. I think I have to restart quickly the IDE once more just to get the stuff going. Up. So we have the main is running. What did we say? The web server port. What was the name of that? Quickly have to check. Web port 1234. Web port 1234. Apply. .sdk not configured. We have to fix that, of course. That's horrible. That is to find underneath of D drive, tools, Flutter, bin cache Dart SDK. So if you ever search it, it's always bin cache Dart SDK. Why didn't it take it? Dart SDK bin? No? No modules. Ah. Good. Apply. And now we should be able to get Flutter Web, hopefully. Is Flutter configured? Yes, Flutter is there. But this was not bin, so probably we have to go here. No? Good. And here we have Edge or for web. Whoa. So, and let's start up. So. I'm updating, or I like to update, to be honest. It's just my coworkers don't like it usually if I'm already on version something and I'm fully trying to implement everything. But yeah, channel stable, I hope not. At least I thought so, that it's not. Let me check. We don't come here, but we are having activated web already, so it can't be stable. No thanks. So, did we get an error? No. Aha, here we go. And we have to log in again. And you know what this means, right? I have to switch back to the Mac. So from the rain into the drama. So in the meantime, I can log in. Save, yes. So, and with that we are back, and I'm pretty sure we are logged in now. So inside of our Edge, we can get this information. Ah, IP address restriction. Okay, so let's go here, Google Developer Console. Yep. The web is slow in Windows. Yeah, indeed. Not really good. You will do the app. This is the wrong user. Switch. Actually, I'm using a password manager, but the password for the password manager is pretty long. So I have a lot of struggle there. Okay, so currently this guy has public API. Not API, IP. So this one. Ooh. Ah. This one. Duplicates are not allowed. Huh. Weird. Ah, true. You want to do it via the QR code, right, Minu? Indeed, then it would be very beneficial, of course. So now let's try it again. Let's reload. Let's see what happens here. We get that. We are authenticated. Yeah, what a luck. Okay, and we get that now. So of the call violates this restriction. Key has an IP address restriction. The originated IP address in the call. Key has an IP address in the call. Permissioned in it. So they are identical. Probably I have to restart the app in order to get the same key or something. It needs to get restarted. So lib main, get that away, that away. What do I find most frustrating? That's a good question. The most frustrating thing is if I'm working on an error or mistake or problem and I couldn't find a solution for it, and you work and work and work, and like 8 hours later you still don't have the solution and you have to leave workplace with that mistake. So you sit there and you think, you are that close to solve the problem, but you couldn't. That is really frustrating. Then you're sitting the whole night in the shower, in bed, at home to try to figure out how to fix it. And then when you will find the solution is the next day or something. And yeah, so this is usually the time where I get really frustrated. Or even worse, if you have to work with APIs that have a very bad... That's not my browser. Okay, it just crashed. Or it's even worse if you have an API that returns you something that you did not expect. For example, instead of an HTTP request, you make a delete or something, and you expect like, I don't know, a 200 okay, and that's it. And suddenly your API returns you true. And you maybe get a 200, but you also get a true or false, and you don't know what this means, right? You cannot understand it. And this is really frustrating because then you are starting to searching for problems that don't existing, and you don't maybe know if you deleted it now or not. So that's a top problem. I had that a lot when I worked with Oracle. So that's why I mentioned that so often. So I have to quickly change again. So give you some background here. We can have that. In the meantime, I do what I can do best. I log in again. Get my phone in hand. Good. Okay, so did it now successfully? Yeah, I think we are successful. So if I take that now, it makes the request, it listens, but somehow it doesn't update. Where's the timer? Here. Finally. Okay, so with that, because we have the 30 seconds rule here still. Why? Didn't we update it here? Ah, I forgot to change over, I think. So here we have this print and the 4-second rule. I thought we pushed all of that, or is there a change? Let's see. Commit and push. Whoop. So we are currently pushing right away to master because it's very ugly. And back to Windows. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you too much with changing to the different systems. Maybe I have to add somewhere a string or something to just show you, okay, this is Windows and this is Mac. I will do that in the next time, I guess. Now we have 2. Okay, so let's try it again. Now it should be every 5 seconds, right? Perfect. And the next step would be to add that as a browser. We are on Windows, fantastic. So we add our browser. And here we add the local repository URL. Okay. Sad. So I actually thought we could... Ah, here we go. So it was able to get it. And we have it now in the stream. Now the only question is, can I also select something inside of it? So if I hit that button down there, will it do something? Okay, maybe this is not yet the best solution. But in the meantime, instead of using a browser, what I could do is just using an image capture and window capture. And using the... No, not this one. This guy. So, and here we have the solution. So, putting that up here. Up, something like that. And then if we go there, we have to take that over. So, copy and bring it over here. So, lock. And now, whenever we write now to do, we have that now visible inside of this to-do list at the moment. Still not perfect, but it's the first step in the right direction, I guess. So now I can set up my check Windows. Yeah, but we get that now. So the only downside that could happen is, yeah, gives you bad dreams, can imagine. Okay. All right, so we got now our to-do commands. We have now the possibility to edit via Flutter app inside of our stream for the next time on Windows. So what would be the next step that we would like to do? For example, I don't like that we currently get all the different, how do you call it? That we get all the different to-dos. So whenever we add to-do, we have no possibility of removing to-dos. And it's kind of weird. But before we do that, I think we have to clean up our application a little bit, because there are some downsides at the moment. First of all, we push everything inside of our main, which is never a good idea. We have like different commands that are outside and a lot of print messages and so on and so forth. So it would be maybe a good idea to just clean up a little bit. So in order to do that, I remove that, and you have maybe already seen that I'm currently a bit, how do you call it, vicious or free with my access keys and so on and so forth. That will change with the next stream, I guess, because at the moment the API keys are just open for you. What I will do is I create here inside of the lib folder, or maybe also in the main folder, a file called Will I do it in the keys? Yeah, I think I'll do it in the keys, like API keys .dart. And what I will do inside of the git ignore, I will add this file. So I don't want to have the lib/API keys inside of the Dart package. Lib and then API keys. I think that should do the trick. So the problem, I have unfortunately added that already. So we have quickly to go to the commit section, and we have to roll back this one. And as you roll back, it's gone here and it's still there. So with that, we don't have that anymore in Git. And because it's added in the git ignore, we will ignore this file and don't push it up to the server of Git. And now inside of here, we can have all our public keys that we want to add and access. So for example, this guy will not live here anymore. We will take it into the API keys and create a name for that, like API keys is this, and it's a const in our case. So because it will not change over the runtime, right? So here inside we can get the API key, and I think keys is maybe a bit too much. It's just one. And it's better if we call it Google API key, right? So just to give it a good name. So, and with that, we get it a bit surrounded, so outside of the application. And whenever you want to use it, you just have to change, or you have to create your own API keys Dart and add all these constants to it. And with that, you will have a running application. Okay, so let's search for other keys that are currently a little bit into or too deep inside. So this is a URL. We could also create a const for that. We need the part, broadcast status, but here we have also this API key. That's fine, I guess. So here we would just have to get outside the URL because it is something that we will reuse multiple times. So as you can see, YouTube, googleapis.com. It's also visible down here, and so on and so forth. Then we have the chat ID, we get the displayed and to-dos and all of that stuff. So let's have a look. Is it just the app ID? No, I think down here. We have also the client IDs, and actually we could just take the whole object. So we could say that this one, because this is just any Dart file, you can just import it like straight away. So if you take a look up here, we just created this file and it's just inside of the API keys.dart. So the file itself is getting imported. And with that, we have access to all the consts that we will find here. So for example, we will create a client ID. This is not possible because it's generic. So it will be changing during the runtime, but we have here the client ID, the web client ID to be more specific. So const web client ID. And I see right now that I got a Python problem here. I start now with underscores instead of writing correct namings. So, and the thing is, we have the client ID of this guy. Yep. And const web client secret. So, and with that, you don't expose your keys usually to the GitHub environment, you know. And after the stream, I will also delete all of these client IDs just in case that I forgot about to change them correctly, even though that they are just accessible via my current client or via my current IP address. But if I want to publish that for everyone to use, it needs to be changed somehow, because I think about to create a package for YouTube live stream API so everyone could access it, right? So, sorry for that. Web client ID. Then the other one is the iOS or more mobile client ID. Up. And last, mobile client secret. Take it outside, put it here, and go. So, web client ID, web client secret. That was mobile client ID and mobile client secret. So, but very little amount of problems. We got that gone. This is our scope. I think that's fine for now. The only problem with that is this could be a const, right? So, okay, create these other flows. I think that's fine. Prompt client ID, fantastically. Okay, and this one, actually we don't need this button anymore. This could be like an initial state. If we call the method, then it starts automatically. And also we should get that outside of the widget itself. Is way too much code. But the first things first, we first commit that we have removed all the API keys. So created an API keys.dart and removed keys from main.dart. So, okay, so next step. Now we have gone already the first step and removed all of that. Now let's have a look quickly how this works. I started now in macOS because it doesn't, well, it doesn't work. It tries not to authenticate via Google API. My coffee is empty, that's not good. Oh, build error. Oh yeah, because it tries to get again this Dart HTML thing. That's a real pain point. I don't know how to solve that actually at the moment with Flutter clean, but that would automatically mean that we only can start one of the two. Let's see if I can pubget start. That means that we would maybe need to create two different So not found Dart HTML, OAuth flows implicit import as HTML. I think the problem is as soon as we try to get this browser OAuth thing here. Yeah, this part here is the problem, I guess. Why cannot? Okay, it seems that my Dart analyzer is broken again, so restart this one. Analyzing, good, looks way better. And now let's see if we can jump here inside. So yeah, this one is importing HTTP package. Are there something, so like Flutter import dependent? How could we need that? So we want to make that Flutter dynamic. It seems this is because that's yeah, that would make sense. This is really an issue. So actually we cannot use that here. So all of these parts. So we would have to comment that like so. And if we start now the application, it will work again. Because of that import that depends then on Flutter web stuff, and they are not related to each other, so it's not that easily possible. It's a good question if we can get rid of that problem. I don't think so. I think we have to wait till Google, till the package is getting updated. Check for caching. I checked multiple times now. The problem is that we always start a new browser system. And what happens is that the complete new browser don't have the passwords and also don't know about the session that is currently cached. So let's try again. So let's see. That happens in automatically because we need to make OAuth 2. So in order to make OAuth 2, you have to call the browser. Okay, this is now macOS. The question is if we have inside of the Google APIs part, this is the web application, installed console application. Actually, I thought this should work. Authentic and reframe clients in client. Autonomous computer engine. All about Selenium. Selenium is a test driver. I think it has nothing to do with caching, if I'm not wrong. Accessing public data with API. Yeah. Yeah, but this is without OAuth 2, then we will not get our information. I thought they installed, but why does that not work? Operation not permitted. Accounts google.com port 443. That could be, yeah. I don't know, to be honest. macOS is now Soundbox by default. You need to appropriate. That's the reason. Crazy. My app is not allowing it. She added the keys for that. Fantastic. So then it will be much easier in the runner debug profile entitlement. So we have the macOS runner debug profile entitlements. Here we go. I think we just need one, right? The network client, I guess. Yeah. Oops. I think one option would be that I just use the default browser instead of doing it like that. But yeah, we can check that in a second. Because the URL should be the same for all of them. So let's go. Good, we are connected. Or I have to restart, of course, with these changes. Network client server, yeah. So, okay, and log in, and now I think our macOS is also allowed to get the information. Aha, look at that. Okay, fantastic. So we get now the information like we wanted. Also for macOS solution. Fantastic. So the only downside at the moment is that whenever I want to have it in web, I really have to kill most of it. That's really sad. I think I will add there a to-do. Check web dynamic module. Maybe we have to take it out. It's getting difficult, I guess. Is there in the Google APIs? From pub.dev, of course. Maybe they have some documentation about that. In the worst case, we have to really create that in a different way. Oh, client libraries, okay. Did they already created that? That would be funny because... Oh, they have already an API. We did so much manual work and they have it already? Ah. Describe through the API discovery service. Huh. So I think we have a solution for that yet, but yeah. Just good to know. So there is already a package that could we use for our YouTube stuff, probably. Where is it gone? There, I think. So if we just take this part. This is the last, it's pretty new. Why did I didn't see that the last time? Now I'm really surprised. Can we use that instead? Then we can save maybe a lot of code. Is there any downsides of that that I didn't read? First obtain OAuth 2 access criteria here. After obtaining the criteria, an API for Google APIs can accessed with an authenticated HTTP client. Files from Todo. Because they create just a service account. So that is nearly the same like we had with this Google APIs. We had here the auth part. And they only use this part with the service accounts. Hey Hamish, nice to see you. Long time no see. And Minu, I think with that we don't even need the caching, so maybe this is the way we want to go. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. We need a Google Developer Console again. Not the Play Console, the Developers Console. Ubuntu. I guess this is one of the biggest parts. So that means we need a service account somehow. So today in Flutter Engage, I probably think that the Ubuntu reveal will be one of the big things, I guess. I'm not sure if it's the biggest thing, but it will be one of the big things. So they want to create a service account. Create service account. I don't know. YouTube to do service account. Create. I have no idea. Basics, editor, owner, viewer. Conditions. Don't need that, I guess. Done. So. Did we need a service account? Yeah. So we go dev project credential with computer service account type. It will download a JSON document. Permissions, keys, logs. Okay. Manage key, view metrics, disable. So where can I download it now? Permission, logs, metrics, keys. All right. So now I received a key with the JSON. So let's see. And this one can also be added. Get all the keys here inside. Like keys, something like that. And in our main.dart, we have now the possibility. Instead of using this one, we can now take this API here, installing, and go back here to the pubspec.yaml. pub.get. Okay. And here we can now save a lot of time by, instead of going through the APIs, we can now get the credentials directly. New service account credentials from JSON. Okay, they don't get it from a different file now. They just copied it over. Oh, good point. Thank you. So completely forgot about that. So idea build generated, especially if you have once uploaded it, you get always problems because it's hard to delete something completely forever on Twitter on GitHub. So commit, and also on GitHub, Twitter. Get rid of that, and here we go. So now this is at the moment just a file. Can we? I would like to read a file from there and just get it inside. So read JSON in Dart, JSON file in Dart. They added as an asset. That's fantastic. And then we can get it as a string. Good, so let's add that as an asset. Pubspec.yaml, getting an asset here. And I think I will create a separate folder for that, directory assets. And I guess that would be keys or something, or yeah, let's call it keys. Bring that service account keys over there. Git ignore, and instead of doing this, I do this. And adding here a file called git keep. Perfect. Good, I think we don't even need to git keep then. Okay. So here we still have some issue there because the credentials don't exist. We can hard reset least commit in GitHub. So there's a way to, yeah, of course there are possibilities to undo it, but it is a pain. It is really a pain. So, and here we have now assets / keys and / service account keys.json. Yep. So pub.get. And here in our main.dart, we now want to receive them. And that was something with root bundle. Load string. Ooh. Wow, what's wrong with the music? So test for Hamish. So did it get it there where it belongs? Or did the app already crashed? It seems not to update anymore. So probably the app got somewhere disconnected in the, yeah. No active isolate in between. Okay. To do is a command that we pull at the moment, and it should update in the Flutter application that you can see directly above us, so above the chat and above me. So I quickly try to reorganize it, that everything works again. To do fix bug, good idea. So. Quickly have to authenticate, but then it should do the trick. Up. So window capture, and here we go. So now they should be a bit more inside. The only thing that I don't get right now is, because it's an own window capture up here. Oops. This one comes up top. You are, So you can see we have the app here now with all the stuff inside. And interesting, I don't have the chat box anymore. Source. So. And okay. So all right, so root bundle load string, nothing of that works, but that's okay, I guess. So let's see if we can go further. So where's the problem? A variable can't be assigned to a variable of type access credentials. Try changing the variable. What will it return actually? Factory of, what do we get at the end? Service account credentials, I guess. So you have to be imported. Because this is just one line, yeah. Okay. So now the question is if we really get that as a string. Yep, but it works. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see how long it works. So next step would be the access token. Of course, everything don't works anymore now as we expected. That's fine. So we have this load string, blah, blah, blah. So let's first have a look if this works in general. So comment with block. Okay, I see already we have more than just one or two problems. We have really a bunch of problems now. So everything inside of this onPressed need to be gone for now. And also you have to go. So. Okay, so let's first read if we really get this information here. That will be our first challenge. So instead of having this, we want to print for now just this part. Yep. And if everything works well and I update here, we get a lot of issues. JSON must be a map, string, or encoding a map. Unable to load asset service account keys. Did I misspelled somewhere? Service account keys.json. No, it looks good. So pubspec.yaml asset keys. Service account. So okay, so now he finds the element, but unable to load asset, platform asset. JSON must be a map or a string encoding a map. Yeah, I think it does that, but probably this is not a string in general, so the whole thing needs to be a string. No? What I can do is just make this also a... Yeah, why not? It engage. Very weird. So let's comment that out and let's see what we get here under these circumstances with this load string. So with these changes, a lot of stuff changes, of course, as you can see. So we get an instance of future. Okay, it's a future. That's the reason. So I would have to wait for that if I want, and we cannot wait inside of a build context. So interesting. No, that was all good. The problem was actually that we get an future. Thank you, Amish. Yes, indeed. 10,000 subscribers are going on the way. It's crazy. Still cannot believe it, actually. So inside of our init state, we will have then like a setup credentials. And we create a method. Yep. We import this guy. Let's take this one. Okay, we take that and we have to await here. So add async. And here we print our credentials. Email. So unable to load assets, service account keys. Wow. I got some very weird problems. Let me quickly check my headphone. I just need a second. Hey Simon, nice to see you. So now, way better. I had like distraction sounds and white noise. That was really annoying. So don't know what there the problem was. Yeah, to remove a to-do at the moment you spam to-dos. That's indeed correct. A bit unlucky, but that's the only thing that I will have. So, so assets keys star JSON. You think that will be better? I could also just remove that, right? So we get all of these files. But still, we have the service accounts. We get all that parts. Maybe we only have the problem that we cannot get it like this. Maybe we have to do the following. Like reading first and say something like JSON equals and pass that inside. Let's see, hot reload, go. Unhandled to load assets, service, platform load. Suspensions, load. DT990, I will try that. Thank you. I thought my Bose headphones are good enough, but somehow they really get a lot of white noise inside of the microphone. I guess the microphone is the problem. So the path is the problem, but I mean the path here. So the load key, that this one needs to be assets, keys, and then putting this inside. All right, you are so good, guys. All right. Thank you. Yep, Charles, fantastic. We found it. So the full path was the problem. Cool. So we got our credentials here now. Instead of putting them here, I will do the following: credentials and put them up on top inside of the app. Not in this app, inside of the homepage. Getting these credentials. What do we have here? Super must be immutable. Ah, still the wrong level down here. So, and with that, we can now go the next steps with the authentication. So let's see how the Google APIs works. So they access now client via service account in the main.dart. So in our case, where we do our stuff, actually you can do that down here again. So let's try that. So client via service account. Client credentials are credentials, right? And the scopes are the scopes that we remove probably somewhere here. Scopes. Oh. I will remove them from before. Okay. So we need to go local history. Scroll a bit down. We had all the changes. And the scopes are this list. Up. What do we get? Auto refreshing auth client. Okay, so let's see. Fair enough. So we get a client. And I think instead of taking these credentials, we could now take the client. But what can we do with this client now? Credential updates, credentials, runtime, get. Ah, now we have the possibility to get all the infos. This one is now authenticated probably. New storage API. Storage API. Wait, storage. Ah, okay, so I can get now, instead of the storage API, the YouTube API. Ah, with the different scopes. Ah, okay. So YouTube API read-only scope. What can I pass in? No parameters, no. The client would be our client. And the root string and so on we don't really need, right? And what can we use it for? Ah, look at that. So we can reinvent our solution that we had already with the live broadcast, with the chat bands and so on and so on. So let's see, we get our live broadcasts or live streams. I don't see the differences at the moment, so let's quickly check the API for that. YouTube live stream API. Ah, just in half an hour's audio video content that is being communicated to YouTube. Each broadcast is associated with one video stream. Okay, so this seems to be a little bit different. So we need a broadcast again. So let's get our broadcast. Up, and why is it red? Ah, it cannot be invoked. Ah, with that I directly get the live. Oh, that's so much easier. How much time I could have saved the last time. So, and probably bind, delete, insert, list. So I can ask for a list. And part would be then our snippet. right? That we got from the last time. No, don't like that. So what is a part? It is a list of strings. Okay, yep. With is our snippet. So just to make sure that we understand what I'm doing here with that snippet, if we remember the last time when we implement all these response parts, we also implemented inside here this stuff. Like for example, we wanted the live broadcasts, so we don't need all that anymore. And the part is snippet. And then we got just the broadcast status, which is active, and then the API key. So in order to use it now with the other way, we just want to give this. And I think we can pass in also the broadcast status, which is active. And all of that should deliver us something, I guess. It's the client, root URL, service paths, all right. So we get this. This returns us a live broadcast resource, and this one returns us a future of live broadcast list response. Okay, so we await here, of course. Live broadcast list response. Live broadcast. Okay, and because we know we have, look at that. And then we have it also typed. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. Then we don't need the whole thing that we had with these, where are we? So we had this live chats, and then we started like doing this where we had to parse the JSON again completely. In order to get the live chat ID, we need items, the first one, snippet, and then going further. So let's see how this works. We're getting the items first. And because that's so much better, so much better. Live chat ID, here we go. So I think it's a string live chat ID. And here we go. Do we have to wait for that? No, because it's already there. And now with this live chat ID, we want to var seconds. Here we create our timer. I think we can do the same thing again. So timer periodic, duration, seconds 5. And we have our timer that runs here. And we can, for example, create our whole to-do stuff. And in order to do so, we want to get the live chat responses. And how do we get them? Via the live chat messages. So let's see if we get that. So await the YouTube API client live chat messages. That's so cool, so easy. With the live chat ID. And the part is snippet probably again. This was a list, right? So up. And this one will be asynchronous. Was it just a snippet? Just have a look. Display message. Items, live chat ID, part snippet. Yep, that's it. And with that, we are already finished, I guess. And this is the exactly, these are the messages, right? So which object do we receive here? We receive a live chat messages list response. Messages. Or let's take the one live chat messages. And this one contains now our items again. So the question is now, how did we access them up here? I think we can copy the most of it. So we get the live chat, JSON decode, we got the messages, and we got all the messages and then we added the live text, and I think we can copy most of that part. So live chat messages, we don't access it via this. We can now just say items. And every chat will contain now snippet, and every snippet will contain a display message. And this one is a new object. Which is a list of string. Exactly. So, and we add this display messages now. And actually we can just inline that. And here we set our to-do commands. So we start up, and as soon as we start up, all of that should happen. Let's see which error we receive. So we completely close down and start up the application once more. Thank you, by the way, for all your help during this live stream. It was really helpful. But now I'm getting a bit angry that I didn't use that API in the first place. Would removed a lot of pressure, I guess. So we get some errors. Unhandled exception, detailed API request error, status 500, internal error encountered. Not really helpful. Do we receive an error where it happens? Unhandled detailed API request error, status 500, internal error account. Validate response. Okay, the question is now, where does that happen? Let's try to print the live chat ID to just see if we are arriving here. Just 1 hour left till the Flutter Engage starts. Let's see what the live stream does actually. So if we go to Flutter Engage, here we go. 1,000 people are waiting already. That's something. So let me share that link if you don't know where to go later, just in case. All right, unhandled exceptions. The user is not enabled for live streaming. The user is not enabled for live streaming. Okay, probably the user of the service account, right? So the service account does not have the allowance to go to my YouTube account. So let's see, credentials. We have we have this guy, and you are not allowed to go to the live streams permissions. Service account. No, I think I have to update this one. From another resource, roles, viewer. YouTube moderator. Manage permissions. Inheritance is YouTube moderator. Okay, cool. So because of the roles, I guess, that we have here, so one of them will be the viewer role. At least I guess. The viewer role, here it is. And let's see where we have the access to. Service, require VPN, TPU. Do we have something with YouTube here? No. Okay, so maybe viewer was not the best option for him. What I want to see, I would like to see production ready for Windows, production ready for Linux, production ready for macOS, production ready for web. It would be amazing to have that. Also, I don't know what would be else amazing, like Fuchsia. If Fuchsia would be released, it would be amazing to see all the updates that are coming, and maybe Navigator 3.0 or something like that. So all of these things could be absolutely stunning to see. I'm not sure what we will see. I guess probably the Ubuntu support for new applications will be Flutter. So I think that will be a pretty big deal. But I think besides of that, I really can't say what I have to expect. I don't really know. So can I change the role of this guy now, or is it impossible for me? So can I never ever change that role again? Details, disable show, nope, nope, nope. Metrics, nope. Manage keys, manage disable, manage details. I think I have to create a new service account. To do test. Oh, that's fine. Create. Select the role. So currently in use, viewer is not a part of it. Let's see if we get the YouTube account somewhere. YouTube supporter source service usage. Ability to inspect service states and operations service. That's true. That would be also amazing. But the question is, what would they put inside of version 2.0? I mean, we can see the Flutter development lifecycle, right? And we are on that. So the question would be, what would they add into a version 2.0 that we wouldn't see inside of the GitHub repo? And if they would just bump the version, I think that wouldn't solve any problems. But maybe they have some ideas. I don't know. Yeah, could be. Composer. Huh. Not enabled for live streaming. Service account Google API. Access live streams. Server-side, client-side web apps, installed apps. Scope, handle response from Google. Read access to all resources. Definitely weird. I thought... So... No, this is something else, I guess. which implies that because my account is not enabled for live streaming, I can't look at anyone else's live stream information in the API. I know that it is a permission problem, but how can I fix that? So manage details. I think we have the permissions. New member. I don't want to have a new member. So we tried to request, so he found that out, but he don't allows us. Why don't we have access to it? Create a role. Don't know. YouTube live stream. YouTube live stream access. Don't know. Something like that. Can only YouTube live stream. Don't know. Something like that. Add permission. YouTube live. Hey Minu, welcome back. The problem is, and maybe that helps if I'm talking about it, my service account that we created has access, don't have access to our live stream. So we get a 403. The user is not enabled for live stream. So service account Google API, the user is not enabled for live stream. I suggest you check that it is enabled for us with the API. Remember that YouTube is channel based. On all requests. Permits you to list the library of the authenticated user. I see, because my service account is not really a user, we cannot see anything. So it would be nice to have this service account, but that doesn't work. I have to authenticate with my own user. I guess so, at least. Do we have another option like client via API key? Client base, service account, user consent, client ID, maybe this one. Scope, user prompt. We can try that. So client ID would be the client ID from API keys, right? So that would be this guy, I think. So the mobile client ID. What will this one return us? This guy again. The scopes will be the same. Can't be assigned to variable. Auto refreshing out client. Because we don't await. Oh, no worries, Simon. What I'm doing is I try to access the Google API, and as you see above me at the moment, you have the to-do list. And whenever you chat something with the exclamation mark to do in front of it, it will get added to this list up there. So my idea first was to recreate all the OAuth and so on and so forth. And we did that the last time, but this time I wanted to use the Google API's documentation or package for that. But the problem with that is it seems that it is a little bit more complicated than just starting with it. So we have to refactor a little bit. So client ID, we have here the mobile client ID with the mobile client secret. And the user prompt, what is user prompt? Prompt for consent. Function for redirecting the user to URI, the URI, and either approve or decline application's request for accessing resources on his behalf. And what did we do there beforehand? I think we had all of that already. So if we check out, let's have a look at the local history. So somewhere there, and here we created the credentials, the client, we had this client ID, and we just added prompt. Obtain with prompt client ID. ID scopes, client prompt. It's a function. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Good. So prompt is just a function. Where are we? Where's the error? Here. So the user prompt is just a function, if I understood that correctly. Also not a string. What? Not the client ID. It is the client via consent prompt for user ID, and this needs a URI for directing the user. Okay, so if we go now again to our YouTube moderator, and here we have, this is admins, billing APIs, credentials. Okay, weird. So, and the thing is, we have this API and we have that web client, this moderator. So the question is now, he has a client ID, but we don't have any URI that I can provide. Client via user consent, API key would be also a possibility. User consent. So let's check out the API. Maybe we find something more there. So in Google APIs. Okay. That's auto-generated, so it could be anything, I guess. Client visa user consent. I tried to access the Google APIs via that element that they generated, the Google APIs inside, with this client visa via user consent. And actually we have a client ID that I have to provide, you see. Then we have the scopes that we want to access, and now it wants to have a prompt user consent with any URI. But to be honest, I don't have an URI, nowhere. So prompt user for consent, prompt user for consent manual, and This one is a string with a URI, and this one is also red. Isn't a function. Super weird. Prompt user for... because this is not really a type, right? Prompt. This is a type definition of auth prompt. Here inside. Okay, this is just a type definition. Huh. Is the return URI that ends of the URI? Yeah, but where do I define that? I think that should be... I have to authorize myself more or less, because I need to go to the... because I want to get from this live stream right away the information. So yeah, it's a little bit hard to explain, but if you enter inside of the live stream !to do, and then something behind of it, it will appear up there, or at least this is the idea behind. And for that, I have to authorize my user to get access to the live stream that is currently running. And then he can access the live stream chat to get out the data that it needs. So, but still and you say now what? You can use any kind of deep link, but I cannot provide anything, right? So if HTTPS, don't know, something. Localhost. Oh, that worked? No. I don't know. 8080. 1234. It requires a function that passes a string. Didn't I try that seconds ago? That passes a... of course, it's the prompt. Yeah, okay. I see the live stream is going way too long. I'm getting now a bit tired. So because we have already that function, I could just use it. All right, so fantastic. Look at that, it works. So good enough. So with that, we have this consent and we have to wait for that. So actually what happens if we go here, it will ask us with the URI again. We can now try to log in. Application successful. We get some infos, we get a core, and okay, somewhere it stops. So we get the live chat ID. Oh, here we go. All right. So fantastic. That was a long run. Okay, so I have to identify myself because I'm the only user who has access to the live stream. But after that, we have the possibility to get all the infos. That's all right. Good. And with that, we managed to reduce a lot of the boilerplate, and we can now reduce all of this commented code. We don't need the elevated button anymore. Get rid of that. We don't need the padding. So actually we just need that. Yeah, we can get rid of this timer here because it's all automatically working, and we get that periodically. Fantastic. So, and the next step would be to identify, make the app a bit more beautiful, I guess, and then how we can create a live server or something where this stuff is running, because it's anyway just a user that will access it via read writes. We could have here a possibility to just read the information here periodically, maybe every 30 seconds or something. And with that, we would have a fantastic live to-do application. And then of course, remove like bugs with the empty spaces, maybe add real commands, like for example, to do create, to do delete, and so on and so forth, and keep that a little bit more in account, that we don't use always the same strings. So would create a list or set for that. So does it append? Menu? Does it work? Of course, I have to scroll now. Okay. So, but that should it be for today. Don't forget, tonight is the night of Flutter Engage. I think we have Simon, I think we all, the Flutter community is also live, right? With the Hump Day 4, I guess. Was it on purpose that it is the same day, or was it just by accident? And also we have to scroll always down. That's also not that good. So we have here, and I think, yeah, that's also today, or the 4th? Oh, no, it's tomorrow. Sorry for that. Yep, it's tomorrow. So I will also think about that. And then I'm really curious how it's go further. And I think the only thing that I want to fix right away, because it's super easy to do, is getting away with this debug label, because I know a lot of people who don't like that. So I think it's now way better. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. We will see us tonight at the live stream of Flutter Engage. And yeah, really looking for tomorrow. And Minu, that's tomorrow's link. I think I have to post it. Or is there a link, a possibility? Huh. So let's see, YouTube, and we get the Humps Day somewhere. Flutter Hump Day. Flutter community. And then I can share the live stream for tomorrow. Here we go. Up, up. And I think the live stream for Engage I already posted also, but I will do it once more just because it's that important. And you will find it, of course, in the community tab. So let's see. Up. Flutter Engage, Flutter Engage. Here we go. Sure. All right, so that's it for today. We had a lot of fun with the Google APIs. We had a possibility to read our to-dos finally without pressing a button. That's already something, I guess. We are now ready for the Flutter Engage, and we're really looking forward to see it. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Simon, for being here. Minu, Hamish, thank you for your help. And it was really amazing stream again. And yeah, let's see us the next time on Monday, hopefully. So see ya everyone, and bye.